Thinking about moving to St. Petersburg, Florida? Well, I've got a couple of things to talk to you about. I've got my own opinions and advices to share, so I'm going to get to it right now. Hey everybody, I'm Emily. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Florida, and I live in the Tampa St. Pete area. And this channel is dedicated to living, working, playing, sleeping, eating, and everything having to do with the Tampa St. Pete market. So if that resonates to you and you're new to my channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and that notification bell. That really helps me out a lot, but it also pushes more content like this to you so that you can get more educated on what's happening in the Florida market. And as always, I really love hearing from you guys. So don't forget, you can leave me a comment below, give me a suggestion. Your input is always welcome here. I'm okay with it. And if you're looking to relocate to the Tampa St. Pete area and you really want a pro on your side, I'm your girl. So hit me up below. I've got my links below. You can either call, text, you can email me, you can go to my website, whatever works for you. But the best thing to do is to jump on my calendar and let's have a 30-minute conversation and let me help you understand a little bit about the market and help you with some of your goals. So today I wanted to sit down at my new well, it's my office, but I decided to sort of put the cameras in front of me here and make it a little easier for me since things are getting a little busy again as the summer starts to, tighten up here as kids are going back to school. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of my advice on St. Petersburg if that is a place that you're considering relocating to. There's a lot of talk. And I've done a lot of videos on St. Petersburg, and it's actually one of my favorite little suburbs in Florida. And there's a lot to process and to go through when it comes to St. Pete. I'm gonna kind of do an overview of some things I think that you might be interested in knowing. And if there's more that you would like to know, again, that's what the comment box is for below. Let me know if you've got some specific questions. So let's jump right into it. The housing market in St. Pete. It's different than Tampa. So when you're looking at the stats for St. Pete, we have had a 34% increase in active home sales in St. Petersburg alone. And that was just from May to June of this year. Townhomes and condos are up about 30%. So you can see that St. Pete is really high on everybody's list. There's a lot to offer in St. Pete, and we're gonna get into that in a minute. So home sales right now, a lot of them are holding at the price. I'm noticing about a 5% decrease. That's an average. Some home prices, some of the sellers are just, really want to take advantage of the market and try to squeeze every penny out as they can. I get it. But a lot of home prices I'm seeing are dropping and they're staying on the market a little longer. So the median house price has gone, since these home prices are dropping, from our average right now at $420,000 to $402,000. So it's a good drop. So it used to be that a couple of months ago, it was that you would go in at list or above list, and some houses were getting 20, 30, 50, sometimes 100K over asking. It's crazy. You can understand that when you're coming from a big city like California, New York, Chicago, where you might be getting $1 million for the sale of your home, and you come to Florida where a $700,000 home you can pay for cash. So that money is coming down here, and that is what has been really, boosting our housing market, but it was making it a little too crazy. So we're now seeing, with the interest rates going up, people are starting to calm down, hence a drop. So $420,000 now to $402,000. It's not a significant amount, but we're slowly kind of declining. I'm seeing about, again, that 5 to 10% of a decline depending on the seller's agents and the sellers. We're not seeing a lot of depreciation and not a lot of crazy pricing like we did months ago. Things are starting to feel somewhat normal, dare I say that out loud. It's not all these contingencies and appraisal gaps and that sort of thing. It is starting to kind of just calm down. I wouldn't say dropping. I want to be careful with that. I'm just seeing a slow decline back to maybe what we would call normal. But normal is changing every couple of months. So what I say here today may be different in 3 months. So you might want to check the stats yourself or have your agent check your stats or ask me. I'll check them for you. And why is all this madness happening? Everybody's looking for the same type of house. The majority of people are looking for a beautiful home maybe 3.2 or 4.3 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet, a great neighborhood, great school district, a pool. You all are looking for the same thing primarily. That median price is what tells us that. And so houses weren't staying on the market very long. Now they're staying on the market about 5 to 7 days. The average is really around 6, but it depends on the price of the home. If it's priced right and it looks great and it's got all those things I just said, it's gonna go like that. So you have to realize, where do you fit into the competitive market as well? And do you need to adjust a little bit? And I've said this in several videos, and I hold this true to everybody I talk to. If it's your goal to get here, you don't have to buy your forever home in this market. You can get to Florida, lock in a rate, and get yourself here and get settled. In a couple of years, 3, 5, even 7 years, the market is going to be drastically different. Hopefully, it won't be as crazy, but you might be able to then upgrade at that point. So it just depends on where you are in your life and what you're looking to do. But keep that in mind. You don't have to just come and get the perfect home. There really is no perfect home, and the perfect home is being gobbled up by everybody. And that's where it starts to get really crazy with, contract wars and that sort of thing. So you just have to understand that everybody wants the same thing, but not everybody's going to get it because our inventory is still historically low. So once people start to move out of Florida and get sick of all of this craziness, then we're going to have some homes to be able to sell to you. So again, I've got clients right now that are literally just sitting and waiting. Where is the perfect house that I want? Well, that's up to you guys. If you really want to sit and wait and see what happens with the market and see if your perfect house comes on the market and has no buyers and you can just swoop in, not so sure that's going to happen in the next couple of years. So you really have to take into mind that yes, we have some increases in interest rates, and they're probably going to increase yet again. The Feds are meeting by the end of July, probably in the next couple of days, and we're probably going to see another hike. Be prepared for it. I know that also with the market being as low as it is right now, people are starting to look at their investment accounts and starting to kind of calibrate what's going on with their money. That's important to do. You have to do that. So you also have to adjust your expectations of the type of home you're going to get and how much you're going to spend and what that strategy is going to be to get you into that home. And I wouldn't be able to live it myself if I didn't mention the 25% rule. The 25% rule is this: never buy a home with monthly payments that are more than 25% of your monthly take-home pay. That sounds like logical, but I deal with a lot of people that really, they're just hell-bent on getting a house, and I understand that, but you have to look at the numbers. And I also don't want you to be house poor. So this is only going to speak to a few people, but realistically, you need to be able to, afford, not only afford your home, but afford if something goes wrong with your home, and have some money left over in the bank account in case of something happening. Again, we are in the middle of hurricane season, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So you need to be prepared for that. Not to mention, you really need to come to the table with 10 to 20% down. And that, again, whatever home price you are looking at, do the math. 10 to 20%, you need to have that in cash, ready to go. If you have proceeds from a sale, you need to discuss that with your agent or with me, and we discuss the timing of everything. But you really need to come to the table with cash. You still need cash in this market. Cash players are still winning all the deals. Sellers, it's just easier for the sellers. They can turn that around in 2 weeks. They can get to the closing table, and it's just an easier transaction for them. So if I'm coming in as your agent and we're financing, we've got to have enough cash to make you still look just as attractive as a cash buyer. We got to sweeten the deal. You know what I'm saying? And I can't stress this enough. People forget you have got to be pre-approved. You have got to talk to a lender. You have got to know what you can realistically afford, not just in your head, but what an actual lender is going to approve you for. So I can help you with that as well. I've got many lenders. You've got to talk to a local lender. You got to talk to a lender that's in our market. That is the best way and the best deal you're going to get. And they are all super competitive right now. So you might be able to lock in a really good rate before the next rate hike. Keep that in mind. And a lot of you are talking to me about coming here and renting first. And I understand the logic behind that. Here's the reality. Rentals are really hard to get into right now. There's even lower inventory of available rentals, and you're gonna pay a premium. And so it may seem like an easy fix right now, and if you get lucky and you can find something great, most agents in Florida do not get paid on rentals. Maybe $100, maybe $50. Sometimes they don't even pay us anything. So I can put you on a rental MLS search and I can connect you with those agents. But really, you're kind of on your own, and that is probably the biggest problem here. We just haven't been set up or ever really had the need for agents to get involved too much in rentals up until now. So if I'm your agent, I'm gonna do my best to help you no matter what, but sometimes my hands are tied. But you also have to consider whether you are willing to pay the exorbitant amount of rent and get locked into something for 12 months, and then you're still not guaranteed to find the house of your dreams. You have to actually look as soon as you get here, because with inventory being low and with the prices the way they are and the interest rates keep climbing, you have to strategically put yourself in the market at the right time and work strategically with your agent or with me to make sure everything is seamless. And that is a wild dance. So you can't do it alone. I promise you, you don't want to do it alone. But I'm here. I'm sure if you've got an agent, they've got your back as well, and the lenders have your back, and we'll all do everything we can to help you get to the next step, which is getting under contract. So let me circle back a little bit to St. Pete in general. That was a little bit on the market. Everybody's talking about it, blah, blah, blah. Let's get on to St. Petersburg. Now, it is called by the locals St. Pete, not St. Pete's, St. Pete. I've had a lot of people go, I like to live in St. Pete's. If you say St. Pete's anywhere around St. Pete, they're gonna know you're not a local. The actual people that live in St. Petersburg, they call it the Burg, okay? So when you're at the coffee shop, hanging out, oh, I love being in the Burg. It's just a little realtor tip for you. As you're considering relocating to Florida in general and St. Pete, laser focused, you need to look at the job market here. It's very different. Just because our housing market is booming does not mean our job market is booming. And it's very specific industries. Healthcare, a little bit of IT, and IT is coming hard and fast. Financial industry for sure, as well as our sport teams and service industry and hospitality. So if that fits with your career, then yeah, you're gonna have some opportunities here. I know in the service industry in particular, there is an ongoing need right now because we're still kind of recovering from our COVID coma. And, a lot of people decided to go off and do other things. And so I'm noticing most restaurants that I'm at have we're hiring sign. So if you're looking for that, or in the hotel, hospitality end, I know everybody pretty much is hiring. As far as the finance industry and all that kind of stuff, I do think, we've got Raymond James, and we've got a lot of the big banks around here. But we also have some of the top healthcare facilities like Tampa General, and we have companies like Advent Health and Baycare and things like that. I actually work with a lot of nurses and healthcare professionals looking to relocate. So there is definitely a need for healthcare workers in our state, for sure. St. Pete is also known for its food and culture and whatnot. And if you're a foodie, listen, I live in Tampa and I go to St. Pete for my restaurants. So there are wonderful places along First Street and Central Ave and the Waterfront Art District right there with all the museums around. There's some wonderful, wonderful restaurants. I've had some amazing meals. So, and what's great is you can walk around and you can start in the morning and have a great breakfast somewhere, and then you can walk around and go to a museum or even go to the pier and hang out a little bit, and then you can walk down Central Ave and you can find another great place to have lunch, and maybe you want to sit around and look at the water, and then leads you into dinner. So it really provides a lot of activity, especially that outdoor foodie feel that a lot of people are yearning for, especially up north if you're coming down. We definitely spend a lot of our time outside, and you do get used to the humidity and the heat. Right now, it's peak. We're heading into August, And you can tell by the big hair that there's a lot of humidity. So we don't hang out outside as much right now. Usually August, we're sort of indoors or we're in a body of water. But as far as food, nighttime, you're still gonna have a great outdoor experience at night, watching sunset anywhere along the water with the yachts and the marinas and the Vinoy Park and the St. Pete Pier. There's just tons of options. So food, if you're a foodie, I'm gonna advise you, definitely eat your way through St. Pete. And something I was thinking about, I was actually driving through St. Pete, looking at a property for an out-of-state client doing some, recon. And I was driving around, and what I've noticed, especially when I'm always driving around thinking about video ideas and things that you guys might want to see. And don't forget, hit me up below if there's something you want to see. I'll make a point to make a video for you. But there's quite a bit of diversity in home styles, sizes, and prices, and areas. So you could live in St. Petersburg and you could have somebody with, a $200,000 home and somebody with a multiple $1,000,000 home within like 10 miles of each other. So what I love about St. Pete is it's not like the rich are sort of segregated over here and the people that make, the average income are over there. It kind of blends. It just really depends on the home. That's really the truth. So honing in into an area is really hard because it's like, well, you could like that area. I have a client right now that loves Gulfport, Florida. Okay, so Gulfport is on the southwest side of 275, down at the bottom of the St. Pete Boot, right? And it's a small little community, and it's been a retiree community forever, but a lot of people are starting to discover it. And so he wants that area. Well, it's like about that big on the map, and finding something that suits his needs is really hard. But I know what he's looking for, and I know that I could get him that in different little areas. It's just trying to get him to expand his mind. So sometimes you have to look at the area and go, well, what is it about this area that I really love, and what is it that I really need? And what is it that I'm willing to go without if I want this house, or if I want that house, or I want this neighborhood? In St. Pete, the big overarching thing that I keep noticing is that there aren't big strip malls with the big box stores at every 3 miles or every 5 miles. You have to sort of go a little further out to get that. But there is local shopping. There's I think it's 4th Street North, the one that goes north to south. 4th Street North you can't go wrong. You're gonna find some great restaurant, a great store, maybe even a big box store like the Trader Joe's. All of that is on that east side of St. Pete off of 275. So if you're gonna be living more inland, and I have been driving around a bit and seeing where some of the shopping is, it is there. It's just, you kind of have to look for it. It's just not as prominent as on 4th Street North. So you've got to decide whether you need your shopping. I don't know, if you're someone that needs, a pint of ice cream at 10 o'clock at night and you don't want to do DoorDash, do you need a supermarket that close to you? I don't know. It just depends on your lifestyle. But you do have to take that into consideration, that St. Pete is not like your normal suburban town or suburbs in general. They've got these like little boroughs everywhere, and some of the houses look the same, and some of them look the same, and the next to it's these monstrosities that are $1 million. You can have a $500,000 home and then $1 million home. It is all over the place. St. Petersburg is not a new little town. It is old. So we still have some brick lane streets. We still have some of those craftsman style mid-century homes. Some new architecture that came around in the 80s and 90s and kind of made it kind of cool. There's so many levels of architecture going on in St. Pete. So finding that area that really fits your lifestyle is going to take some driving around, and it's going to take a little bit more research. And so I just wanted to mention that it's not like there's yes, is, Snell Isle. Yes, those are $1 million homes. Yes, Tropical Shores, you're going to pay a premium over there. Beautiful homes, beautiful location, worth it. Driftwood, that area, Kenwood, historic Old Northeast, everything around the Coffee Pot Bayou, Venetian Isles. All of those areas are great. Why? They're on the water. Duh. So you've got plenty of options, but there's still some affordable homes on these little keys. So don't forget that. So it's a long conversation that I have with people that are looking at St. Pete, and we have these conversations over and over and over again. What I'm trying to say is there's something for everybody in St. Petersburg. That's what St. Petersburg, in my opinion, has to offer people. There's lots of options. The biggest thing that makes it different from Tampa is that it's just a little bit more open to diversity and a little bit more open to a liberal lifestyle, let me say gently. And, you know, there is still some crime there you have to be careful of. And some of the schools still aren't great yet. You know, it's coming around. It hasn't really made its full transition like I feel like Tampa has. Tampa's really done a 180 since I lived here, but it's going to take some time for all of St. Pete to kind of make that turnaround. But don't forget, St. Pete is really kind of divided. You've got the neighborhood, you know, waterfront communities, and then you've got the beach communities on the West Coast, on the Gulf Coast, that are primarily rentals or, you know, for vacationers and that sort of thing. And that has a completely different vibe than the other side of St. Pete. So it just depends on which part you want to be in, you know. That's why it's really important to come down here, vacation, and drive around. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as to what's going on in our market in St. Pete, and, you know, adjusting some of the expectations. This is not to scare you. This is just to educate you. There's a lot more that I could share, and I can share with you individually. So again, don't forget, you can always reach out to me and I can answer your questions privately, or feel free to comment below. Like I said, love seeing all the comments. And, you know, this market is really stretching a lot of our, you know, all of the realtors' intellect and abilities to help service people like yourself that might be relocating. So bear with us. We're trying to get the information up to date as possible as well. But St. Pete as a whole, you just can't go wrong, in my opinion. If it was up to me, and by the time I'm ready to move from my little oasis over here in Tampa, St. Pete's high on my list. The closer I can get to the water, that's really my goal. So if that's your goal, let's talk. Don't forget, you can reach out to me, and I'd love to help you get your plan together for relocating here and get that conversation going. All my links are below. Feel free to get on my calendar, email me, or text and call. Whatever works for you, I'd love to hear from you. And as always, guys, I really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Actually, it's over here. Subscribe over here. Hit the bell over here. That really helps me out a lot. And I try to make these videos weekly. There might be more coming a little bit more frequently. Let's hope. So guys, again, I really appreciate you checking my content out, and again, subscribing to my channel and watching all of this. And I hope it was helpful to you. And as always, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.